let's see if everything is in working order before we even start. Let's see, microphone, Win 7. I'm going to have to make sure that all of this is okay because, man, this thing's rusty. And unfortunately, Chapter 4, I didn't see anything in Steam if they have already pushed out a Chapter 3. But I ended up hearing that they're going to be pushing out a Chapter 4 next month. Today is this recording takes place on September 22nd, 2016, the first day of fall. And when this recording has been done, it's pretty much that Higurashi's Chapter 4 is going to be out in October. So I'm going to have to start getting my ass in gear. We're going to have to continue with this shit. So, let's load up, and let's get on to the next few chapters. Let's see how many I can do in this one sitting without getting myself all too worn out and shit. Let's see what happens. Hojo isn't coming to school today again? Furude, do you know anything? The teacher isn't blaming her or anything, but I feel bad for Rika. She hangs her head without any answer to give. The teacher calls Rika to the front of the class and talks to her in a whisper. At first, Rika told us that Satoko is sick, but at this point, we know it's a lie. Because Rika brings Satoko's lunchbox every day. So what's wrong with Satoko-chan? Don't ask me. I wanted to know more than anybody. It's been 3 days, and Satoko still hasn't come to school yet. I've been feeling uneasy ever since that day. Until last Sunday, everything was perfect and fun, and I spent quite a bit of a warm and relaxing time with Satoko in a way that a real sister and a brother would do. So why did everything change to 180 degrees so suddenly? The more I think about it, the clearer it gets to me that it's Oishi who had changed everything. Now that I think about it, I believe that the funny feeling I had the night before, Oishi appeared. Oh, sorry. I'm sorry, it's just... I'm going at this a little bit full force, so I'm fucking this up. Now that I think about it, I believe that the funny feeling I had on the night before Oishi appeared, it was a sign of the changed. Oishi Kurado, a servant of Yorishiro-sama. Damn it. I'm not going to believe that Satoko is going to be the next victim just because the bastard came along. What did I do to deserve the end of those happy days? It's true that the day before Oishi showed up, I talked with those three, Shion, Mion, Rena, about Satoshi, who went missing or was cursed, and I felt a strange feeling afterwards because of the creepiness of the incident. And their faces. Did the conversation bring the servant of Oyashiro close to Satoko? It's a stupid idea. It can't be it. I keep telling myself that. It's not only me who was talking about it. Mion and Rena did too. All of our classmates talked about it. Rika seems to know something, but she doesn't want to talk about it. Rika has a very gentle soul that always reminds me of a cat basking in the sun. But she also has an unbelievable stubbornness once she makes her mind about something. She's not going to tell us anything, no matter how many times we asked her. Because all we know about it, nobody wants to confirm or confront. If Rika doesn't want to tell us, there's nothing we could do but wait. It might be that she's not telling us anything, because there's nothing she has to tell us. Rena says that Shira's but because she didn't look confident about her statement, it wasn't convincing. Mion just fell silent, looking out of the window, grumpy. Is she grumpy because Rika isn't telling anything? Or is she grumpy because she doesn't know whether Satoko is alright or not? I don't know. What about me? I've been feeling suffocated because I'm so worried. Someone might just say I look grumpy as well, just like Mion. But then somebody patted me on the shoulder. Tomita no Okamura. Maibara-san, may I talk to you? Is your ball stuck again? Why don't you try to get it yourself? It's not good to depend on your upperclassmen all the time. I treat them harshly because I don't feel like playing with them. We heard a rumor. A rumor? Uh-huh. We thought you might like to know. A rumor? They don't say it's about Satoko, but something tells me it is. They tell me they don't want to talk about it in the classroom, so they took me outside to the rear of the school building. I'm convinced it's Satoko. The rear of the school building is dark and damp, not a place where students like to come. That's why it's the best place to talk about rumors that you don't want anyone else to know. Okay, you two. Is the rumor related to the reason about Satoko being absent? We're not sure if it's related, but... Is something wrong with her? She's sick? She has some kind of serious disease? Injuries? She's actually totally the opposite. My grandma told me she came to my store to buy tofu yesterday afternoon. Okamura explains that Tomita's family owns a tofu store. She came to buy tofu? Well, I obviously sound dumb. I can't help it. I've been worried sick about whether she's very sick or injured badly while she was out buying tofu. How is she? Does she look fine? Or does she look like recovering from some illness? Wrapped in bandages, walking crutches? She wasn't sick or injured, but... Well, if she wasn't sick or injured, I should stop worrying about her, but... I still feel uneasy. Because the expression Tomita has on his face. She bought a piece of silken tofu, and my grandma said something was wrong. Wrong? Why? Bought a piece of silken tofu. What about it? I'm irritated by the indirect way of talking, but I'm trying not to sound grumpy. Hocho and Furude live together, and you know they're not that rich, right? That's why they always buy an expensive hard tofu. They never buy the most expensive tofu. They're both tofu. Maybe they just want to eat better. Yesterday... Well, yeah, maybe they did. I know, I'm probably making a lame excuse about it. A very important clue. Bought a piece of expensive silken tofu, and it's not hard. Not on the way home from school, in the middle of the afternoon. But I can't get to the answer of what it may mean. I'm thinking hard, and Okamura then opened his mouth. It's my turn. It's also just a rumor, but I heard that he's back. He's back? Who is? Satoko's uncle. Satoko's uncle is back. Yuri told me about him. Satoko and her brother lost their parents, and they live with their uncle and aunt. It's all just uncle who ran away because he got scared of the curse of Oyashiro-sama last year. This guy is very scary and rough. He's like a gangster. I started remembering the stories Yuri told me about the other day. Right. The mean uncle and the wife who bullied Satoko and her brother. His wife was beaten to death by a psycho, and he got scared of the curse and ran to his lover's house in Okinomiya. But I don't understand. Why would she miss school, go and buy a piece of silk tofu in the middle of the afternoon, just because he's back? I can tell there's a big clue coming. I don't get it, but maybe the other two will, if I bring this up. Sorry, I didn't mean to sound too demanding. You told me about this with good intentions. Oh, don't worry about it. We should be glad at least we know that Hojo isn't sick or bedridden. He might be right, but I don't feel refreshed. The dark cloud on my heart is still there. Oh, Mayabaro, look! He raises his voice and points over my shoulder. I turn around in surprise and find the shadow of a person walking towards the school gate. Look who it is! It's Satoko! Before he speaks, I ran. I ran to confirm with my own eyes that Satoko is okay. Satoko! She looked astonished to see me screaming, running towards her. Are you alright, Keiichi? Why are you running and screaming? You're scaring me. I'm fine, it's you. What happened to you? You've been missing school for 3 days. I was worried. You worry too much. Just 3 days, Keiichi. You really worry too much. She sounds normal, but she obviously looks somewhat different. The smile isn't convincing. She looks a little pale. Satoko, you alright? Did you get sick? Tomita and Okamura tell her that they were worried about her too. The hell happened? 3 days! You have no idea how worried I was! I'm sorry, I just needed to clean my house. Because I haven't lived in my house for a while, there is dust everywhere. But what are you talking about? You skipped school to clean your house? She didn't answer that question. She ended up walking towards the entrance. It's lunchtime, isn't it? I'm hungry. Lunchtime. I can't hold her back when she says she's hungry and wants to eat lunch. Okay, Rika brought you your lunch every day for 3 whole days. She'll be happy that you'll eat it. How about we go? And hurry. Need to let everyone know you're fine. Good idea. Seems like I made everybody worry. Can't help it. Everybody loves me, right? I pat her on the shoulder and run together to the classroom. When I look at her closely, she was somehow a little weak. I thought I could get rid of this uneasy feeling once I saw her, but instead it's more uneasy. So what happened to you? Everybody in the classroom shows exactly the same reaction I did. I was so worried about you. I'm glad you're fine. What were you doing for 3 days? Everybody told her how much they were worried and asked if she was all right. I'm so sorry I made you worry. She laughed out loud while we're eating lunch that Rika brought for her. Seems like the teacher's office also got the news and the teacher burst into the classroom. Hojo! Hi, GA! I'm sorry I made you worry for 3 days. As you can see, I'm fine. You really made me worry. I'll come to the teacher's office after you finish eating your lunch. I got things to talk to you about. She's gonna give me a good scolding for skipping school. She laughed and she scratched her head in embarrassment. The whole class ended up bursting into laughter. At first, Chie looked mad, but once she sees Satoko shoving food to her mouth and smiling cheerfully with her classmates, she heaved a sigh of relief. So, Rena, you relieved now? Oh, right. I'm glad she's back. When I see her look on her face, I'm convinced my uneasy feelings are spot on the money. She felt something different. Mion had a severe expression, standing away from the crowd. But on the other hand, Rika is smiling as happily as she can, offering Satoko one lunchbox after another. Satoko finishes her lunch, enjoying the conversation with her classmates. Finally remembers that she has to go to the teacher's office. I don't want to go, but if I don't, she's going to scold me even more. I'm going with you. When Satoko stood up, Rika tagged along. Excuse us, Keiichi, we have to go get scolded. Want me to go with you too? We're the team that got scolded together when we did the punishment of talking bad things about Curry, remember? You don't need to come with us. Keiichi, you could stay here. Rika declines nicely, but there was a strong rejection in the eyes. So they went out to the hallways, shoulder to shoulder. After seeing them off, the classmates seemed to be relieved and scattered to go back to their lunches. Well, we weren't totally relieved. The 3 of us just stared at the door that they walked through. We're friends, aren't we? I suddenly said. So Mia and Rena turned around and looked at me with a curious expression. I don't hide anything from my friends, so I'm going to tell you what I just heard. I tell them the stories I heard of Tomita and Okamura, that Satoko went to buy tofu and her uncle came back. I didn't even wait for their nods and just kept talking through the whole thing through. This is all I know, so please tell me if you know anything. I told you everything I know. I strengthened my last words and looked at them. Rena met my eyes levelly. Nothing shaky. I could tell she has nothing to hide without saying it. Then we shifted our eyes to Mion. I have nothing to hide. I'm just being quiet. Mion can't stand the silent stares and just starts acting awkward if she has something to hide. Since Kay told me everything, well, I guess I'll have to. Me, do you know anything? I knew Satoko's uncle came back. I knew the day he came back. Last Saturday. Last Sunday he just came back. So why didn't you tell us? Sorry! When I yelled at her, she jumped in fear and hangs her head.
Kay, you shouldn't be mad at her. She looks scared.
Sorry, I don't mean to yell at you. So I hung my head as a sign of apology. She accepts, collects herself, and goes on. According to her, his lover in Okinomiya dumped him. Without anywhere to go other than his own house in Hinamizawa, he reluctantly came back. Last Sunday, when we had the barbecue party, he bumped into Satoko when she was on her way home, and just took her home with him.
Why did he take her home with him?
He was a parasitic asshole. Oh, fucking brutal. Can't cook, let alone clean.
He took Satoko home with him to make her do the cooking and cleaning?
I remember she told me she'd been cleaning her house. The pieces of my questions are connecting together, and a jigsaw puzzle of anxiety is put together. I can only tell what kind of picture is drawn on the jigsaw puzzle when I look at it from a distance. It's a rumor that Satoko was locked inside the house and she's bullied and forced to do things around it.
Why didn't you tell me something this important?
I was about to yell at her, but I covered my mouth with my hand to avoid it.
Mii-chan, is that true?
Not like I saw it. I'm not so sure. Mion looks down again and falls silent.
Just like last year, when she lived with the mean uncle and aunt? But you said that her uncle can't do anything around the house. That means he needs Satoko, so I don't think he's bullying her.
Kichi, I don't know what you're basing on, but don't say things you're not sure about. She scolded me flatly. You don't know anything about it, so don't talk about it as if you've seen it. That's what she meant to say. You sound like you know something about it.
I don't know anything about it either. I didn't even know that her uncle took her home with him until now. But I know it's not the same situation as last year.
What do you mean it's not the same situation?
She is without Satoshi.
Satoshi was a very good brother to her. He always cared about her and protected her. Tried to be the protective shield against their mean uncle and aunt so that she didn't have to suffer.
But now it's only the mean uncle and Satoko, alone in the house. You can imagine how hard it is for her, can you?
The reason he came back is because his lover walked out on him. How could a man who came back to his old house feeling annoyed be nice and kind? Right. It's easy to imagine that he's taking his anger out on Satoko, bullying her. Shit, I'm sorry.
I'm sorry too. I didn't mean to yell at you. Aww.
An uncomfortable silence between us. The three of us remain silent and just stare at the floor. After a while, the principal rings his bell to signal the start of the next class. Teacher comes back with Satoko and Rika. Well, let's start the class. Class rep, let's get started. All rise. We're back now. Excuse us. I can't read anything from the vague smile on Satoko's face. But Rika, who's standing behind her, looks down. It's hard for me to laugh off the disturbing story that I just heard from Mion. Great, been a long time since we had all our club members lined together. How about we have a big club activity today? Oh yes, I've been waiting for such a thing. Best that everyone gets a load off with an exciting game at a time like this.
I'll take your challenge, right, Satoko? Let's play a game.
Which games do you like, Satoko? Anything you like. You can get to pick the game. She was laughing happily while getting the many kinds of games out from the locker we used for the club. First time Mion lets anybody decide a game to play. I can tell she's trying to be nice to Satoko. No matter the situation, we all hope that having a fun time together will comfort her. She seems to understand our feelings and smiles happily, but she shook her head.
I appreciate it, but I can't play with you. I have many things to do.
Rika also looks as if she's apologizing on behalf of Satoko.
Are you serious?
We're all here together and we're not playing any games? I believe we have a rule that says whoever tries to get away from playing a game has to take a punishment.
Stop it, Mi-chan. Can't force her to play.
Uncle Mion's not forcing her. Just think it'd be more fun when we all play together. I really appreciate the concern, but don't worry. I'll think about a big trap and I'll set it on for all of you next time. She apologizes for not being able to attend the club activity. Just puts her stuff into her bag in a hurry and disappears. Before we knew it, she was gone.
Satoko.
She sadly sends off Satoko. We all got quiet. It's as if the cheerful voices of the classmates in the schoolyard and the cry of cicadas are coming from a distant world.
So boring.
She broke the silence with her bad attitude and puts the games back into the locker. The rest of us could do nothing but stare at the empty seat that she just left.
Rika, can you please tell us what you know?
She tries to keep a smile on her face while asking Rika. We already got a general idea of what's going on with Satoko without hearing it from Rika. Her uncle came back because his lover dumped him, and he took Satoko home with him and is forcing her to do things around the house. Must be very hard for her. I assume everyone already knows about it, so I skipped details. Is it that bad? I bet Mion and Rena wanted to ask the same question. Everybody waited patiently for Rika to answer. She just falls silent. A bitter answer because we want to hear her deny it. Last year, wasn't it? The same kind of situation? Or when she used to live with her uncle and his wife? Yeah, but last year is mostly their marital quarrel that they took it out on Satoko. So she could kill time by doing the club activities at school in order to minimize the time she had to spend at home. But now she's forced to do chores, so she can't stay for school for long. Damn it! Satoko is not a slave! Who the hell does he think he is, putting aside his inability of living alone and forced Satoko to do the things that he couldn't? So wrong! We may need to have some circumstantial evidence, but we can call it an abuse, can't we? Report this to the police.
Yeah, I think we could report it if we have evidence.
Or we could talk to a social worker. Because Ren and I use the word police so easily, Mion gets denied. Sounds so easy, doesn't it? But have you thought about the risk of providing it? Risk? Last winter, I believe, someone reported it to a child consultation center. The person told them to do something as soon as possible because a girl was suffering abuse. Oh, I didn't know. What happened to that? Well, after the call, a social worker went to her house and he questioned Satoko and Satoshi. He also questioned her uncle and aunt. Good thing he talked to Satoko and Satoshi, but I don't think it was a good move for him to ask the uncle and aunt. He said he had to hear both sides of the story and judge the situation comprehensively. Smart, isn't it? So what happened? You have to wait and see. What does that mean? Uncle Mion learned a lot from the experience. Law calls it abuse only when physical abuse or child neglect is confirmed. Satoko and Satoshi were often hit them, but not at the point where they have a mark. They actually had 3 meals a day and a space to sleep. Mentally and verbally abused, but they didn't record it on a tape or anything. In fact, nobody saw them being abused either. The uncle and the aunt were mean to them, but they were not stupid enough to abuse them in public.
And then?
Seems like the social worker visited them once a week. Uncle and the aunt became more cautious about their behavior because they were so closely watched. So they started not to be obvious. But of course they didn't let them get away with it so easily.
You mean they got smart about it?
Mm-hmm. Especially the aunt. She got nastier. Women can be really nasty and insidious, you know. Thanks for reminding me. I hear that she did many shady and insidious things to Satoshi and Satoko. Towards the end, Satoko looked like a used-up doll that just breathes without a soul. So it was better not to report to the child consultation center. Get it? We don't stand a chance if we don't have obvious, visible evidence. or it can only make the situation worse. Reporting without it was a big mistake. So basically, everybody is now hanging in their head in disappointment, realizing public institution that we could depend on is basically fucking pointless.
It's better to not report it until we have the obvious visible evidence?
Pretty much, I guess. Something like that. Satoko's current situation. Brought back to her house. We can't call it abuse. Bullied and forced to do things around it. The key here is the content of the bullying, but it'll be difficult to prove it without specific evidence. External injury will do, but I don't think she has any as far as we saw. The fact that she's forced to do things around the house isn't strong enough to be evidence. We need evidence that everyone can say it's abuse with no doubt. Oh wait, her uncle abandoned Satoko for a whole year and lived with his lover in town. Should be child neglect if it's just one of the definitions of abuse.
It's solid child neglect. What do you think, Michan?
Well, they might consider it as child neglect if he was still away, but at this moment he lives with her. If he claims that he lived separately, but he cleaned up his act and decided to live with her again, the institution would do the same thing as before, just waiting and see. Once we report it, we'll have to make sure that they confirm it. In order to not repeat what went on last year, we may need more solid evidence this time. It's sad because that means we have to wait and see until she gets abused and injured. The plan to be cautious turns out to be wait and see. I noticed that what I'm trying to do is the same thing the social worker did, just made the situation worse. I'm shocked. I gambled to report to a public institution like Mion said. If we're going to play the game, we can't afford to lose. But if we don't have enough coins, we're doomed. On the other hand, if we spend too much time collecting this, means we have to act as if we don't know anything about her situation for a certain amount of time. Sorry to ask you this, but how come you can live alone, Rika? Rika lost her parents. She doesn't have any relatives either. That's why she ended up living alone, but she lives without being constrained by anybody. If Satoko can get the same kind of freedom, well, Rika lives alone without her parents, right? Usually kids without parents have to live in an orphanage, don't they?
Keiichi, that's rude.
I'm not trying to be rude or mean, I just asked because there might be a hint in it to save Satoko. I apologize if I made you feel bad. Rika just shook her head.
That's because I became a child of the village leader.
Let me explain. The village leader, her father Kimiyoshi, is her guardian. He officially got permission to be one of the prefecture governors. Oh, so he adopted her in a sense. A different thing. He could be a guardian without having her under his family register.
Oh, that means Rika lives with him for the law, while she actually lives alone.
Close. That's why she doesn't have to go to an orphanage. It's not an orphanage, it's more of a foster home.
I don't know the details, but there's something like that.
You just said something very interesting. He can be a guardian without having her under his family register. That's true, he can be Satoko's guardian for the law, right? If he can do that, Satoko can have the same condition as Rika. It means she can live with Rika again. But it won't work like that, because her uncle is the guardian. So, what? I'm getting lost. So wait, what does it mean? In law, guardians and parents aren't really the same thing, right? The person who actually takes care of the kid in daily life is defined to be a guardian. But her uncle can't be. He left her alone for a year. But if he claims to be her guardian, he could be, and that's it. Past few days since he took her home with him, he's been paying for food, right? He can claim that he's been taking care of her. Even though he left her for a year, he has a record that he took care of her for the first year, and the village leader won't have any.
So, if our mean uncle and her village leader claim to be her guardian, her uncle has the advantage.
It's a possibility. A high possibility. Plus, her guardian has to be a person who actually takes care of her. Her uncle gave her a place to sleep and food to eat, but the village leader is just trying to lend his name to be a guardian. The village leader won't stand a chance. If that's the case, all he has to do is actually take care of her. Then he could be her guardian for real and for law. So he should take her from her uncle. I'm pretty sure her uncle will go crazy to get her back, but he should be strong and brush her off. Not that easy. Satoko is a teenage girl. To ask a person to take care of a human being is different from asking him to take care of a cat. And the manager? What do you think? Rich, we're talking about a rich guy. He told me he is. The village leader can't be. The manager could be. He wants to take care of her, I bet. Are you dumb or are you just fucking stupid? Don't treat her like a pet. You're talking about nothing but dumping Satoko onto other people. Consider, think what it takes to take care of a human being. Did you even ask the manager? Ask him to get his approval? I didn't. I'm sure he'd say yes. You know what? For argument's sake, let's assume. But he can't. Single men and women can't be guardians. That's right. He told me that before. We can't adopt her because he's single. What the hell? Why is being single a disadvantage in society? It only leaves us rich and married couples. Any rich family in Imizawa would be hard to find. See? Not that easy. Not easy to put a person in charge. Can't just dump her onto somebody and think it'll all work out. It won't. You're not thinking it through. Are you? Fuck. I'm trying my hardest to help her. And you're saying no to everything. Why do I have a feeling you really don't care about her? You're not really worried about her as a friend, are you? Tell me that. It's not true. I didn't mean to say no to everything. I'm saying it won't be easy. It's not that difficult either. You only need to find some rich couple who will take care of her for a while. And what about you? You always brag about your family being rich and being one of the major families of Himizawa. You live in a huge fucking house. My house? No way! My grandmother would never let me do that. And your parents in Okinomiya? They also live in a huge mansion, owning many stores in town. Must be the rich. Fucking. There's no way she would live in a house in Okinomiya. My dad would never even allow something like that. You're always bragging about how rich you are and you're being wishy-washy all of a sudden. What the hell's wrong with you? Are you gonna just feed her to the lions? I didn't mean that. Of course I want to help her. But there's things I can do and things I can't. You can't? You seem such cold all of a sudden. Your friend is in a crisis and you're not helping her? What are you gonna do? You're the leader of the club, aren't you? You need to help her. You need to help your friend in this crisis. Don't help her now. You're not her friend. You're probably not even human. You're gonna be put to the test now. So are you listening? I didn't give her any chance for a counterattack, and I just threw emotions at her. I just want her to make her say yes. If she does, Satoko's problem will be easily solved. If making her say yes by force will solve the problem, I'm just gonna push it as far as I can. Why are you being so quiet? Aren't you listening? Tell me, Mion Sodosaki. Me. She looked at the phone frowning at first, but now she started moaning. She clenches her fist tightly and tears drops from her eyes. I think I fucked up at this point. She shouldn't be crying. We have to stay strong and help her. Help Satoko. As I'm thinking such thoughts, Rena tells me coolly and calmly. Keiichi, why don't you find some other rich families? I know a person in Imizawa that lives in a huge mansion. And that would be? Don't pretend you have no idea. You live in a huge house and you keep yourself out of the loop? My house? My family is not that rich. Well, you're her friend, aren't you? You should help her. Michan can't help her because she's a cold person. So why don't you show her how warm your heart is? You live in a huge house with your parents, right? You have many empty rooms. Why don't you share one of those? Then the problem will be solved. Huh. Why didn't I think of that? It was easy, wasn't it? Good job. We solved the problem. I guess that's it for today. I'm going home now. I'm going to treasure hunt. It's been a long time since the last time I tried treasure hunting because I'm worried and sick about Satoko and didn't feel like doing it. I wonder what kind of treasure I'm going to find today. Don't you have anything to say? I'm the only one that's talking, huh? Say something! Aren't you listening? Okay. I think we can incur the wrath of Rena. Even the cicada seemed to cower. She's breathing hard and we're at a loss for words. Mion's pale and blank and Rika falls silent. The air in the classroom becomes stiff and makes us stiff as well. So she sits down in a chair. The noise she made when she sat down let us breathe again. She just told me how I ended up hurting her feelings. Holy shit.
Rena, scary.
No shit.
Just how dangerous are they?
It's my personal policy to never tell what a woman does privately.
How dangerous are they?
I'm sorry, I can't say.
How dangerous are they? Rena.
After a while, Rika breaks the ice.
Sorry? Sorry, you guys? I don't have to apologize for you now, don't I?
I don't think that's good. Sorry to hurt your feelings. Huh.
I didn't know you were talking to me. I thought you were talking to me, Chan, because you were glaring at her while you were talking, weren't you?
Huh. I guess I went temporarily driven by wild emotion. What a strong and solid thing you are, Rena. Mion, I'm sorry. I just lost control. I don't know why I ended up getting that excited. I consider myself Satoko's Nini, and I just wanted to do something to her with good intentions, that's all. Just don't worry about it. I'm sorry. I kept saying no to you, everything you say. You were just trying to help her and think about what you can do to her. It's my bad. She wiped her tears with her fist and kindly apologizes to me. We both hang our heads without looking at each other. Satoko was bullied last year. What happened to save her from the tragedy? How did it end? I know nobody could do anything in the end. They just had to be patient and wait for those days to come to an end. That's right. The person who actually ended up those days, a stranger on drugs, kindly killed Satoko's mean aunt on the night of the festival. He didn't do that to save Satoko from Satoshi. It was just a coincidence. The people who really wanted to do something for her just couldn't do anything. The incident was a tragedy, but to Satoko it was nothing but a miracle. A miracle. Something we just have to hope will happen again. Do we have to just wait? I'm not talking about evidence abuse or anything at a small scale.
Wait for what?
A miracle. It comes out of nowhere, and nobody makes fun of me. It's because that's our only hope, because we have no other ideas. We're helpless. The words Mion slips out from her mouth hit us hard. It's hot and I'm sweating. Body sticky. This is the worst June ever. I went all the way straight here until the end of the rice field, turning to the right. No idea where I am. I've never been here before. I got lost several times, so I might have taken a roundabout way. Should have gone home first to get the bike. Didn't want to worry my friends, so I asked one of my classmates where Satoko used to live. The house she used to live with her uncle and aunt. Her own house. It wasn't theirs. They took over because it was bigger and nicer. I turned to the right. I saw several. Should be at the end. I didn't come to see her, or take a look at her mean uncle. I just wanted to be near her, because I'm her Nini. The truth is, though, I'm not so sure. According to what Tomita told me, it should be this house. As soon as I find it, the feet get heavier. So what am I doing here? Well, the reason I came here first is nonsense. Just frustrated with the things Mion said about us being helpless. I just prayed for a miracle and wanted to do something more than just spend my days being lazy. That's the only reason I'm here now. I came just to be here. What am I going to do if I see Satoko being bullied? Am I going to knock him down, take Satoko, and run away with her like it was in a movie? Alright, am I gonna live with her somewhere far? Nonsense. I'm helpless. The cicadas cry as if they're making fun of me. As they're saying, go home. You can't do anything. You're not gonna do anything. I hear a car coming closer and I get to the side. But the car stops right behind me and honks once. Assuming I'm still blocking the way and turn around to look at the driver is sticking his face out from the window. Looks familiar. Oh, the manager. Maibara, what a coincidence. Live around here? I have no reason to be here. While I'm trying to change the subject, I notice Satoko is sitting in the passenger seat. Huh? She gets out of the car and starts taking many grocery bags from the trunk. I ran into him on my way back from grocery shopping and he gave me a ride. I saw her riding a bike carrying all those bags, Eri said while taking her bike out from the back seat. 4 big bags, fully packed. They look heavy. Did you go to the 7th Mart? Isn't it a little too far to go by bike? Oh, there's a lot of liquor, party snacks, cartons of cigarettes. Not only do they look heavy, but they're also looking luxury. Can't think of enough. It was hard to ride my bike on the uphill back there. She smiles at Eri with gratitude, but her smile was a bit awkward. It made my heart tighten. These aren't for tonight's dinner, are they? Of course not. I don't drink alcohol and I don't like party snacks. I don't smoke either. Did he make her go that far by bike for crap like this? So what's he doing right now? Probably hopefully working hard right at this moment. He's made her go alone that far. Or I'm not going to forgive him for making Satoko go through all the trouble for crap like this. I can't say that out loud, but I probably showed it. Eri seems to notice it and pats me on my shoulder. I hear the door of the house open. There's this vulgar fellow coming out. There's no need for introduction. I intuitively know that's the uncle. The first word he said should be something to thank her, but instead, "You left the heat on my sake, you moron!" I'm sorry, but you told me to go shopping. Stupid, you ruined my sake, you idiot! She just bows her head in apology. She looks like a small frightened animal. I don't get it. She just came back from grocery shopping with heavy bags full of food. No, they're not full of food. They're full of crap. For his luxury. She's now back because she was lucky to bump into somebody. If she didn't bump into him, she still wouldn't be riding her bicycle. On a hill. Alone. You just talk rude and nasty to her like that. How could he be so rude and nasty to someone who just came back from grocery shopping all the way over there? The anger didn't reach him, of course. Didn't even pay attention to me. He shouts at Eri. Oh, Eri, hello, why don't you come inside? We're at Arasu, so you can join us right away. The bed rate can be anything you want. No, but thank you. I ran into her earlier and just gave her a ride. I'm leaving now. Let's play, you're rich, aren't you? I have no idea what they were talking about, but I know for sure he didn't say anything to thank Satoko for her trouble. Satoko, get some party snacks. The beers are getting lukewarm. Cold ones from the refrigerator. Tepe, you're too hard on your daughter. You should be a little nice to her. I'm not. She needs some discipline. Badly brought up by my brother. She doesn't listen to me, so that's what she needs. It's your turn, Tepe. Tsubaki did Richie. Sorry. But Tsubaki, did you Richie again? Looks like they're his friends. So what are they doing? What are they doing making her go buy the liquor and saying disgusting things? My uncle's friends are visiting him and they're playing mahjong. I was told to prepare dinner for his friends. What? Playing mahjong? He and his friends are fucking playing mahjong? Made her go buy tons of liquor at a store far away. They're too busy playing stupid mahjong. Told her after she comes back she left the heat on the sake. Seriously, what the shit? What the fuck? I could just go on and on with the shit. What does he think he's doing? He's playing mahjong and making Satoko go buy such crap. Even though Eri heard what I said, he pretends he doesn't. Heavy-looking grocery bags on the ground. Well, can you help her out too, Maibaro? You're a strong boy. Take the heavy ones. Manager, this is wrong. It's definitely wrong. He just pretends he can't hear my furious words. When I come to think about it later, he may have reacted the best way possible. I'll take these two. Come on. Help her carry these. So I grabbed them. They're very heavy. Nastily heavy. Not only heavy, but made me feel nasty. It's worse than just heavy.
Gigi, you don't have to do this. I can carry them.
She thinks I'm clenching my teeth because the bags are heavy when I'm actually suppressing humiliation. Oh, I got it. I'm not a sissy. I say that on purpose as if she thinks she underestimates my strength.
Thank you so much, Manager. They must be heavy.
It's okay, Yuri smiled vaguely, as if it's nothing. But I know. I know he knows how not to show his feelings. He's an adult. Deep inside, the fire of anger burns in him probably the same way it does. They're actually very heavy. Damn it, damn it, damn it! It's a short distance to the front door of her house, but the bags are biting into my hands and making the palms of my hand red. I'm filled with resentment and the anger creeps up the throat, but letting it out from my mouth isn't gonna solve it. That's why I just clench my teeth.
Thanks so much, Manager and Keiichi. You really saved my day.
She put the bag in front of the door. I can hear the nasty laughter of her uncle and his friends from inside the house. It made my blood boil. I know they're not laughing at us. That's why it made my blood boil even more. Just laughing, enjoying the time of their lives while using Satoko to get their luxuries. Just makes me pissed. I'm sure Irie feels pissed too. But expressing the feelings will only cause trouble. Irie knows it. That's why he pretends he doesn't mind at all and tells her without showing the real emotion. I don't mind at all. I'm happy I could be of help. Let me know if there's anything I can do.
Yeah, it means a lot to me that you offered.
She says it means a lot to me that you offer. Sounded so sad. Made me so sad because Satoko knows the limit of what we can do to help her. But she's right. No matter how much we could help her, this is all we can do. I'm just disgusted with myself. I have no power to help her. The hot boiling anger is rising up to my throat and I'm shaking. The anger is just about to leak. I'll help you with anything I can, so hang in there. At least I want to tell her that I'll be there for her, even though it sounds so fucking cheesy.
Yeah, thank you so much. I'm just happy that you came all the way.
She seemed to have realized why and what I was doing here, far away from my own home. Well, you should go now. He's drunk now. He may pick on you for no reason. I don't want you to be dragged into his mess after all the things you've done for me. Tragedy shouldn't occur to everybody. I could just hear her saying it, and it breaks my heart. So I hand the bags over to Satoko, and I notice a bruise on the back of her hand. How'd you get this? I'm well aware of the answer, but I asked her anyway. She didn't have to say it for me to know how she got it.
I fell from the stairs and hit my hand. Don't worry about it.
You're lying. Irie elbows me back. He put his index finger on his lips as if to tell me I'm talking too loud.
Thanks for everything. I'll see you tomorrow. At school.
Don't you just stop saying I'm asking you! What the hey! I notice so late the bruises and red wounds on the neck, her legs, everywhere.
I fell from the stairs.
The boiled anger is about to tear up my throat. Something just covers it. Irie puts both of his hands on my mouth. No words can come out. I can only roar. But I roar, I can do nothing but it. I need to spit out the magma in the bottom of my stomach now, or I'm gonna explode and be reduced to atoms. I just fucking lose my shit. From my mouth, with my entire body, tears running down from my eyes, I just keep losing it. I squeeze everything from the bottom of my stomach and roar. I can't make words out of it, but I just keep squeezing them out. I know how you feel, Mario Bro. I need you to be patient just for now. Please. I need to be patient? How is it going to help? What did that do? She's been hurt physically, mentally, and all I can do for her now is just to fucking scream at my own shit and nothing else. Come on! Are we that helpless that we can't even just fucking scream from the bottom of our hearts? The cry of cicadas cools down the anger. I don't know how much time has passed. She's bowed slightly.
Thank you so much,
Satoko.
You looked like my Nini. My real Nini's gone. But I guess I have my Nini called Keiichi now.
Right. I'm the Nini. When you go and go through a hard time, I'll help you. Your Nini will help you for sure. Satoshi Hojo, you fucking asshole. Satoko is hurting right now. You're not helping her. When are you going to help her? Why did you run away from home? Why did you leave her alone? You have no right to be her Nini anymore. I'm not gonna leave you.
What?
I won't leave you like he did. I'll never leave you. A string of tears run down her eyes, and she narrows her eyes and smiles happily.
Goodbye, Nini.
She waved her right hand.
I'll be fine. You gave me the strength, Nini. I'll be fine. I'll have enough strength to last till tomorrow. So goodbye now.
I can't say goodbye, I'll see you tomorrow, just like that. A nasty voice echoes from inside. Satoko, I told you to bring some food!
Go on. Please go. I'm fine. Just go.
Let's go. We'll only cause her trouble if we stay longer.
Manager, Nini's house is a little far from here. Could you give him a ride?
I think I can. So here I grabbed my collar and dragged me to with a strength that I never imagined. I couldn't fight him off, and I let myself be dragged farther and farther away. She waved her hand with a cloudy smile and disappeared into the house. Eerie gets into his car and makes a U-turn and opens the passenger's door near me. I know it hurts. I think I know better than you do. But please be patient for now. She knows how you feel. Just be patient. I know, I'm sorry. Thanks for helping me back there. I sit quietly in the passenger seat. His car accelerated quietly. Satoko's house gets smaller in the rearview mirror. After the big curve, her house isn't in the mirror. Your house is so far from here. It's on the opposite side from school. I didn't reply. I didn't have an answer to give if he asked me why I was in front of her house. Eerie didn't ask me either. We fell silent, just listening to the sound of pebbles on the road as he drives. The situation is different from last year. I remember what Rena said. Last year she had Satoshi. He protected her, so Satoko didn't have to take all the yelling and everything. But she doesn't have it. Yeah, it's cruel, but it's reality. She seems to understand what I mean to say. It's sad and cruel, but there's a limit to what we can do. He's right. No matter how much we want to help her, there's a line we can't cross, and the line is in front of the door to our house. No matter how long I could scream and say that I'll be her Nini, no matter how loud I say it, that I'll never leave her, she just calls me Nini in return, there's nothing more to do after that. Where the hell did he go? Satoshi is different. He's her real brother. He can do more than what we can. It's a real fact and a definite difference between him and us. I wonder what he's doing now. Where is he? Satoshi ran away from home. I don't know if it's the curse or if he's just missing. But he isn't beside her now. He isn't here for her when she really needs his protection. Why isn't he here right now? She needs him the most. People say that the curse of Oishiro had something to do with it. But all I can say is that he ran away from home. Friends told me he just didn't come back one day. Did he really run away without leaving a note? Satoshi was working part-time. Satoko wanted a very big teddy bear at that time. It was expensive and he worked part-time to save money to get it. A very good brother to her. People said he was working so hard because he wanted to give his little sister a nice birthday present, since she was going through a tough time with her uncle and aunt. But he didn't use the money to buy her a birthday present. Satoshi went missing and the police investigated everything. They found he withdrew all of his savings on that day and went missing. After all the investigation, they assumed he used the money to go to Tokyo. What? To do what? You have to assume he went to Tokyo to run away from home. He was saving his money to run away from home. I get that, but why did he leave her? He should have taken her with him. Again, Yuri is calm, didn't do anything to add oil to this fire. Just waited until I cooled down. He listens to the noise of the wheels kicking the pebbles as he drives for a while and murmurs. You should know, she also came around the same idea. She was left behind because she was a burden. He didn't take her with him. He betrayed her, and I wonder how Satoko felt about it. Satoko is a strong person. With the support of her close friends, she regained her smile. I remember she talked about Satoshi without a sign of sadness a few days ago when we had dinner together at my house. I thought they had a very wonderful relationship, but now that I think about it, it was probably a philosophical attitude that she'd acquired over time. She says Satoshi will come back one day. When he does, she wants him to see her as a person who's no longer a burden anymore. Satoko isn't a burden, though. She made her own living way better than I can. She can do almost anything. I mean, she isn't perfect compared to the, Rena or Rika, but she's more independent than anyone I know. The result of her effort to be the person she is now, so that she can be ready for Satoshi to come back. She made painful efforts. She lived with Rika. She learned many things from Rika, who can do almost everything flawlessly. She tried hard so that she'll be ready to welcome Satoshi. She tried hard so that he'd be proud of her. So, when is he coming back? No answer. He simply ran away from home, leaving Satoko behind, and ran away from Inumizawa. Someone told me the person who abandoned and ran away from Inumizawa got cursed by Orishiro. Kinda makes sense to say Satoshi is missing because of the curse. He got what he deserved, and it kinda makes me laugh. Orishiro. Satoshi's missing is not because he ran away from home, but because you deemed him away, didn't you? I bet you didn't, and I won't forgive you. When did he run away from home? Zan was murdered by a psycho on the night of the Watanagashi festival last year, and he ran away a few days later, on Satoko's birthday. On her birthday? I hit the dashboard in front of me. Satoshi, why do you have to run away from her on such a day like that? Aunt died a few days earlier. The hard days were coming to an end. The new life was just coming around the corner. Not good to be happy about someone's death, but for him and Satoko, her birthday was supposed to be the start of a new paragraph of that life. Their mean uncle ran away to town that they could live free. They could have celebrated it on her birthday. Satoko must have waited for his return. She must have waited for him, but he never came back. She must have waited for him so that they could talk about their dreams and hopes and their new life together, but he didn't. He didn't even call. Satoko must have been looking forward to her nice birthday present, and I wonder when she had to face the cruel reality. You're a fucking asshole! I can just feel boiling blood gathering up in my head. I'm frustrated. I'm mad. I can't even forgive his cruel betrayal, because she still loves and respects him deeply. Such a bastard like him, not gonna come back now at a perfect timing. No one's gonna protect her. Not even her brother Satoshi is gonna protect her. That's why I'm happy she calls you Nini. What? I wish for her happiness too, but I have to work during the day. I don't have so much time to be there for her. But you're different. You could be there for her during school, and you're close to her age. You're close in age to her and Satoshi. You think you have a limit of what you can do, but your list of options is bigger than mine. You can always be close to her. That's why I want you to be her help for me too. That's my wish. But you could do so many things for her. There are things I can only do for her because of my age. All I'm saying is that there are only things you can do for her as well. We'll make the best of what each of us can. Am I talking nonsense? He asked me and I shook my head. There are things only he can do because of his age. He's an adult. I'm not. I can try and ask him. Are you good on law? Not really. I'm saying I'm about average. I remember the discussion I had with Mion about Satoko. We ended up with the conclusion that the only thing we could do is wait and see, but I wonder what an adult would come up with. I believe it's called a child welfare law. There's a way to separate a child from the parents as an emergency action to ensure the safety. Emergency action? We can separate from our uncle right now, but we don't know if that's what Satoko wants to do. It doesn't work if the person who is abused doesn't want it. What do you mean? You think she doesn't want to be saved? No answer. I don't understand why he doesn't answer. Probably obvious. Satoko's treated like a slave and abused by her uncle. I repress my desire to urge him to answer the question. Just wait until he does. Not a word. It's not like he's pretending that he didn't hear it. More like he doesn't know how to explain it. I think Satoko takes the situation as a test. A test? Sounds crazy religion to me. You already know that Satoshi is protected Satoko, and Satoko always relied on Satoshi. One could say she was too dependent. I know that Satoshi always protected her from their uncle and aunt. That's why a brother should do for his little sister and something to brag about. I think she's been traumatized. She just thinks she made her brother hate her because she was too dependent on him. The current situation is like a reenactment of last year. This time Satoshi isn't here. She wants to overcome the test without depending on anyone. Satoshi wouldn't come back if she didn't require the independence. That's why I think she thinks. Now that I think about it. Satoko never said that she's sad that she can't take it anymore. I thought she could just speak about it because she was being threatened. I was talking with my friends that maybe we should report this as a child consultation center. You know that they went there last year, right? Yeah. I also know they didn't do anything and the situation got worse. It was Satoko who reported to the center. And after that, the bullying went underground and escalated. They bullied her more and it dramatically increased the burden on Satoshi, who tried to protect her from them. So Satoko thinks that this was her responsibility because she reported to the center? Mm-hmm. Even if we try to talk about reporting, she won't listen to us or say that there's no need. Even if we reported without telling her, she insists that she isn't abused. It's easy to imagine her doing that because I know how she always talks tough and how much she hates to lose. Well, the Child Consultation Center has a strong authority to perform emergency action without permission from the court or the person who's abused. If the abuse is an open fact, they can take her from her uncle by force even if she denies the fact. She might take it to mean that she lost him. But it isn't about winning or losing. She's actually being abused. I'm sorry to cut you off, but once they take her, they send her to a place like a foster home. She has to move and live there, and that means she has to change schools because she'll be living in a different district. Change schools? Yeah, she might have to, if that's the only way to save her. Satoko knows about those things very well. That's why she doesn't want to be saved. But why? Her reason to live is to wait for Satoshi's return. She was left by her brother, lost like a wreck, and finally found a reason to live. Think about this whole thing from her perspective, not yours. So you mean I'm lost because he speaks in the indirect way adults often use. His point is there's nothing we can do because she wants to stay in that house. All we can do is wait until she gives up. In the end, after all that talk, his answer is also wait and see. Just don't get it. What? I would report without asking anyone's opinions if I felt her life was in danger. She might be upset and hate me for it, but I believe that it leads her to her happiness in the end. He stares at me. The look on his face says, "What do you know about anything at your age, young boy?" Why did you... I guess he, no adult would understand. That's why I frankly tell him what I believe in. She's my friend because I'm her Nini. Isn't that reason enough? He gets shook up a little, but I pierce my strong gaze into his eyes. You think that's good enough? After a long silence, that's the only thing he says. We promised. I'm sorry, what'd you say? We promised we wouldn't make her cry. We promised to each other on the day of the barbecue party. I didn't take it seriously at that time, but we did promise to each other that we wouldn't make her cry. Erie apologizes that it took her a while to recall, and he just smiles wryly. I see that wry smile and it makes me worry somehow that he might not have as much passion to save Satoko as I do. The car comes to a sudden stop. That's your house? I didn't know that the Maribara mansion was yours. Oh, we're close. Kinda sucks when we can't do anything. Doesn't it? Just purely sucks. Case 31, huh? A new tip. Let's take a look. December 1st, the 56th year of Showa. Social Welfare Division Child Care Department of XX Prefecture. No public consultation. Do not copy. Case 31, November 20th. Hojo Satoko, unknown age. Address, centered, but Himizawa, Shisabone City. 1. Proceed to the consultation. Process, I'm sorry. Anonymous call to Child Abuse SOS Hotline. The condition of abuse. Physical abuse by the girl's step-parents. Members of family. Abuser. Stepfather, stepmother, older brother, herself. Abuser is highlighted. Parents died in an accident in June of the 55th year of Showa. She was taken into custody of her uncle, father's younger brother. Treatment by the Child Consultation Center. After receiving an anonymous phone call, we contacted the school that same day to assess the child's condition. Next day, a child consultation officer visited the child's home for inquiry. Step-parents agreed to take the Child Consultation Center's advice. Contact to the Municipal Abuse Prevention Center was made. Step-parents were put on advisory consultation term. Local welfare officer was assigned to pay visits frequently. Look how that turned out. Let's see. Related info from Mr. W, former officer in charge. For the document 44 of E23 from this 52nd year of Showa. As for advice from Chief Officer F from Municipal Education Counseling Office. Details. Okay. I guess we're gonna have to wait later. I need to stop for now. Sucks when you can't do anything, doesn't it?